First contact, an unexpected encounter. The vast expanse of space stretched out before Captain Sarah Chen as she gazed through the view screen of the U.S. horizon. Stars twinkled in the distance, a silent reminder of the countless worlds waiting to be explored. Sarah had dreamed of this moment since she was a little girl, staring up at the night sky from her backyard in rural Iowa. Now, at the age of 35, she was leading humanity's first deep space expedition beyond the solar system. Captain, we're picking up an unusual energy signature, reported Lieutenant Jackson, the ship's science officer. His dark eyes were fixed on the console in front of him, brow furrowed in concentration. Sarah straightened in her chair, her heart rate quickening. Can you identify the source? Jackson shook his head. Negative, Captain. It's unlike anything in our database, but it's strong, and it's coming from that planet ahead. Sarah's eyes followed his gesture to a blue-green orb slowly growing larger on the view screen. It looked remarkably Earth-like, with swirling white clouds and vast oceans. But appearances could be deceiving, especially this far from home. Helm, take us into stable orbit, Sarah ordered, and signal the away team to prep for planetfall. Looks like we might make first contact sooner than we expected. As the horizon settled into orbit, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. This was what they had come for, to seek out new life and new civilizations. But the reality of meeting an alien species for the first time was daunting. What if they were hostile? What if there was some misunderstanding that led to conflict? Sarah pushed those thoughts aside as she stepped into the shuttle bay. Her away team was already assembled: Lieutenant Jackson, Dr. Amelia Rodriguez, the ship's xenobiologist, and Sergeant Mike Torres, head of security. They all looked as nervous as she felt, but there was a glimmer of excitement in their eyes too. Remember, Sarah said as they boarded the shuttle, we're here as peaceful explorers. Our primary mission is to observe and learn, no unnecessary risks. The descent through the planet's atmosphere was smooth, and soon they were flying over a landscape of purple forests and shimmering silver plains. In the distance, Sarah spotted what looked like a city, gleaming spires reaching up towards the sky. My God, breathed Dr. Rodriguez. It's beautiful. They set the shuttle down in a clearing near the edge of one of the forests. As the team stepped out onto the alien soil, Sarah felt a sense of awe wash over her. They were the first humans to set foot on this world, possibly the first to make contact with an alien civilization. That's when they heard it, a haunting, melodic cry echoing from somewhere in the forest. It sounded almost like singing, but with an otherworldly quality that sent shivers down Sarah's spine. What is that? Sergeant Torres asked, his hand instinctively moving to his sidearm. Before anyone could answer, a figure burst from the tree line. Sarah's jaw dropped as she took in the sight. The alien was humanoid in shape, but its skin was a deep, iridescent blue. Long feather-like appendages flowed from its head in place of hair, and its eyes were large and entirely black. The alien stumbled as it emerged from the forest, clearly in distress. It let out another of those haunting cries before collapsing to the ground. Dr. Rodriguez, Sarah called, already moving towards the fallen alien. I need you here now. As they approached, Sarah could see that the alien's blue skin was marred by angry red welts. It was trembling, its breath coming in ragged gasps. It looks like some kind of allergic reaction, Dr. Rodriguez said, running her scanner over the alien's prone form. But I can't be sure without knowing more about their biology. Sarah made a split-second decision. We need to get it back to the ship. Our medical bay is better equipped to handle this. As they carefully lifted the alien onto a stretcher, its eyes fluttered open. It looked at Sarah, and in that moment, she felt a connection she couldn't explain. There was intelligence in those alien eyes, and something else. Fear, yes, but also a spark of hope. The alien reached out a trembling hand, touching Sarah's arm. Suddenly, her mind was filled with a cascade of images and emotions. She saw a world of beauty and wonder, felt the joy of soaring through purple skies, the warmth of companionship. But she also sensed a creeping darkness, a threat that loomed over this idyllic world. As quickly as it had come, the vision faded. Sarah blinked, disoriented, to find her team staring at her in concern. "Captain, are you all right?" Lieutenant Jackson asked. Sarah nodded, still trying to process what had just happened. "I'm fine. Let's get our guest back to the ship. I have a feeling this is just the beginning of a much bigger story." As they loaded the alien onto the shuttle, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries, first contact with an alien species. But no one could have predicted it would happen like this, with a mysterious, injured alien and a psychic connection that defied explanation. As the shuttle lifted off, carrying them back to the horizon, Sarah glanced down at the alien world below. Somewhere down there were answers to who this alien was, what had attacked it, and what that vision meant. And Sarah was determined to find them, no matter the cost. Little did she know, the fate of two worlds, Earth and this alien planet, would soon rest in her hands. The journey that began with a rescue was about to become a fight for survival, a test of humanity's courage and compassion in the face of the unknown. As the shuttle docked with the horizon, Sarah steeled herself for what was to come. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she and her crew would face them together. And perhaps in doing so, they would prove that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. The alien stirred on the stretcher, its black eyes focusing on Sarah once more. In that gaze, she saw a mixture of gratitude and urgency. There was no going back now. The greatest adventure in human history had begun, and Sarah Chen was at the heart of it all: cultural clash, misunderstandings, and revelations. The medical bay of the U.S. horizon hummed with activity as Dr. Rodriguez and her team worked tirelessly to stabilize that alien patient. Captain Sarah Chen paced anxiously, her mind still reeling from the psychic connection she had experienced on the planet's surface. "Captain," Dr. Rodriguez called, her voice tinged with excitement and confusion. "You need to see this." Sarah approached the biobed, where holographic displays flickered with alien physiological data. The blue-skinned being lay peacefully, its chest rising and falling with steady breaths. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" Sarah asked, her eyes scanning the unfamiliar readouts. Dr. Rodriguez pointed to a pulsating image of the alien's brain. "This neural activity is off the charts. I've never seen anything like it. And there's more." She hesitated, glancing at Sarah with a mix of awe and trepidation. "It's DNA. It's changing." Sarah's eyebrows shot up. "Changing? How is that possible?" "I don't know," Dr. Rodriguez admitted. "But whatever caused those welts we saw earlier, it seems to have triggered some kind of rapid evolution. Its cellular structure is adapting, becoming more human-like." As if on cue, the alien's eyes fluttered open. Gone were the entirely black orbs from earlier. In their place were startlingly human eyes, a vibrant violet in color. The alien blinked, focusing on Sarah. "Thank you," it said, in perfect English. Sarah stumbled back, shocked. You can speak our language." The alien sat up, seemingly untroubled by its recent ordeal. "I can now. Your world, your thoughts, they're all here." It tapped its temple, a gift and a curse. "Who are you?" Sarah asked, finding her voice. "What happened to you?" "My name is Zara," the alien replied. "I was a scientist on my world Lumina. We were studying the effects of a rare mineral found only on the fringes of our planet, but something went wrong. The mineral, it changed me. And now I fear it may destroy everything." Alarms blared suddenly, cutting off any further explanation. Lieutenant Jackson's voice crackled over the intercom. "Captain, we've got company. Multiple unidentified ships just dropped out of FTL. They're on an intercept course." Sarah's training kicked in. Red alert, all hands to battle stations. She turned to Zara. "I need to get to the bridge, but this conversation isn't over." As Sarah raced through the corridors, the ship shuddered under the impact of weapons fire. She burst onto the bridge, taking in the chaotic scene before her. The view screen showed a swarm of sleek, predatory-looking ships, their hulls gleaming with an oily metallic sheen. They moved with an otherworldly grace, firing salvos of energy weapons that crackled against the horizon's shields. "Report," Sarah barked, sliding into her command chair. "Shields at 60% and falling," Tactical Officer Liu responded. "Their weapons are like nothing we've ever seen. They're adapting to our shield frequency faster than we can modulate." Sarah's mind raced. They were outgunned and outnumbered. There was no way to call for reinforcements as far from Earth. They needed a miracle. As if in answer to her unspoken plea, Zara appeared on the bridge, moving with inhuman speed and grace. "Captain, I can help. The mineral that changed me, it's given me access to knowledge, to technologies your people have never dreamed of." Sarah hesitated for a split second, weighing the risks of trusting this alien they had just met. But as another barrage rocked the ship, she knew they had no choice. "Do it," she ordered. Zara placed her hands on the nearest console. Her eyes glowed with an eerie light as streams of data flowed across the screens faster than any human could process. The ship's systems began to reconfigure, weapons and shields morphing into something new and strange. "Fire," Zara commanded. Beams of coruscating energy lashed out from the horizon, cutting through the enemy ship's defenses like they weren't even there. In moments, the tide of battle had turned. As the last enemy ship exploded in a brilliant fireball, a stunned silence fell over the bridge. Sarah turned to Zara, a mix of gratitude and wariness in her eyes. "I think it's time you told us everything," she said. Zara nodded sullenly. "Yes, but not here. What I have to say concerns not just your ship, but the fate of both our worlds. We need to return to Lumina. The answers, and the true threat, await us there." Sarah considered for a moment, then nodded. "Set a course for Lumina maximum warp. It's time we got to the bottom of this mystery." As the horizon streaked through space towards an uncertain destiny, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were hurtling towards something bigger than first contact, bigger even than the battle they had just survived. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community had become a headlong plunge into a conflict that threatened the very fabric of the universe itself. In the depths of space, ancient forces stirred. The game of cosmic chess had begun, with humanity and the people of Lumina as unwitting pawns. But Sarah Chen was determined to rewrite the rules, to forge a path that would see both their peoples not just survive, but thrive. Little did she know, the true test of her resolve, and of humanity's place among the stars, was yet to come. As Lumina grew larger in the viewscreen, Sarah steeled herself for whatever revelations awaited. One thing was certain, nothing would ever be the same again. Quantum entanglement, echoes of a dying universe. As the US horizon entered Lumina's orbit, Captain Sarah Chen felt a chill run down her spine. The once vibrant planet now pulsed with an eerie, sickly glow. Vast swaths of the surface were covered in a crystalline growth that seemed to devour everything in its path. "My God," Lieutenant Jackson whispered, his eyes wide with horror. "What happened here?" Zara, her blue skin now shimmering with an otherworldly iridescence, stepped forward. "This is the work of the quantum plague," she said, her voice heavy with sorrow. "The mineral we were studying, we didn't realize its true nature until it was too late." "Quantum plague?" Sarah asked, her brow furrowed in confusion. Zara nodded grimly. "It's a manifestation of entropy itself, Captain. A cancer in the very fabric of spacetime. And it's spreading, not just across our world, but across realities." The bridge fell silent as the implications of Zara's words sank in. This wasn't just a threat to Lumina or Earth, but to the entire multiverse. Suddenly, alarms blared as the ship's sensors went haywire. "Captain," Lieutenant Jackson called out. "I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations. It's like reality itself is breaking down." Before Sarah could respond, a blinding flash of light engulfed the bridge. When it faded, Sarah found herself elsewhere. She stood on a rocky outcropping overlooking a vast, swirling maelstrom of colors and fractured landscapes. Fragments of different worlds, different timelines, collided and merged in a chaotic dance. "Welcome to the Nexus," a familiar voice said behind her. Sarah turned to see Zara, but not as she had been moments ago. This Zara was older, battle-worn, her once vibrant skin now pale and scarred. "What is this place?" Sarah asked, struggling to comprehend the impossible vista before her. "The Eye of the Storm," Zara replied, "a focal point where all realities converge, and the source of the quantum plague." As Sarah watched, she saw echoes of herself, of her crew, living out countless different lives across the multiverse. In one reality, Earth had fallen to the plague. In another, humanity had evolved into beings of pure energy. The sheer scale of existence overwhelmed her. "Why have you brought me here?" Sarah demanded, turning to face Zara. The alien's eyes were filled with a mixture of hope and desperation. "Because you, Sarah Chen, are the key to saving everything. In every reality where hope survives, you are there, leading the fight against the plague." Sarah's mind reeled. "But how? I'm just one person. How can I possibly stop something that threatens all of existence?" Zara placed a hand on Sarah's shoulder, and suddenly, knowledge flooded into her mind. Equations of mind-bending complexity, theories that unified quantum mechanics and gravity, the true nature of consciousness, and its role in shaping reality, it all cascaded through Sarah's thoughts. "The mineral that changed me," Zara explained, "it's a fragment of a universe that died. Its entropy, its decay, is infecting our realities. But you, Sarah, your mind is uniquely capable of processing this information, of finding a solution." As the knowledge settled in Sarah's mind, she began to see patterns, connections she'd never imagined before. "We need to create a quantum firewall," she said, the words coming unbidden to her lips. "A barrier that can contain the plague and reverse its effects." Zara nodded, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Yes, but it will take more than just knowledge. It will require sacrifice, courage, and a force more powerful than entropy itself." "Love," Sarah whispered, the realization dawning on her. "The bonds between people, between species, across all realities. It's the only force strong enough to hold the multiverse together." The world around them began to shimmer and fade. "Our time here is ending," Zara said urgently. "Remember what you've learned, Sarah. The fate of all existence rests in your hands." With another flash of light, Sarah found herself back on the horizon's bridge. Only seconds had passed, but she felt as if she had lived 1,000 lifetimes. "Captain," Lieutenant Jackson asked, concern evident in his voice. "Are you all right?" Sarah straightened, a new determination in her eyes. "Plot a course for Earth, maximum warp. We need to gather every ally we can. It's time humanity took its place on the cosmic stage." As the horizon streaked away from Lumina, Sarah's mind raced with plans. They would need to unite not just Earth, but every spacefaring race they could find. They would need to push the boundaries of science and technology beyond anything previously imagined. And they would need to do it fast. For even as they fled, tendrils of crystalline growth began to spread across Lumina's surface, reaching out towards the stars like grasping fingers. The battle for existence itself had begun, and Sarah Chen, once a simple starship captain, now found herself cast as the potential savior of all reality. As the weight of this responsibility settled on her shoulders, she made a silent vow. No matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice, she would find a way to stop the quantum plague. Little did she know, the true test of her resolve, and of humanity's worthiness to exist in the grand tapestry of the multiverse, was yet to come. As the horizon raced towards Earth, carrying with it knowledge that could save or doom all of creation, the very fabric of reality held its breath, waiting to see what this insignificant species from a backwater planet would do when faced with the ultimate challenge. The stage was set for a battle that would echo across all dimensions, across all of time and space. And at the center of it all stood Sarah Chen, a beacon of hope in a darkening multiverse. The multiversal conclave, humanity's trial by fire. The skies above Earth churned with swirling vortexes of energy as ships from 1,000 different realities converged. The US horizon, now transformed by Zora's alien technology into a gleaming beacon of hope, led the massive fleet. On the bridge, Captain Sarah Chen stood tall, her eyes blazing with determination. "This is it," she said, addressing not just her crew, but representatives from countless alien races displayed on holographic screens around her. "Today, we make our stand against the quantum plague." As if in response to her words, a massive tear in space-time ripped open before them. Through it, they could see the crystalline tendrils of the plague, writhing and grasping, consuming entire galaxies in its wake. "By the cosmic core," gasped Exile 4, a tentacled being from the fifth dimension. "It's worse than we feared." Sarah nodded grimly. "Which is why we need every one of you. Each of your civilizations brings unique knowledge, unique abilities. Together, we can forge the quantum firewall and save all of existence." Suddenly, alarms blared across the fleet. A new anomaly was forming, larger than anything they'd seen before. As they watched in awe, a colossal structure materialized before them, a vast, impossible space station that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The multiversal conclave, Zara breathed, her eyes wide with recognition. "I thought it was just a myth." Before anyone could respond, the fleet was bathed in a beam of pure white light. When it faded, Sarah found herself standing in a vast chamber. Beings of every conceivable form, and many inconceivable ones, surrounded her. At the center stood 3 figures of pure energy, their forms constantly shifting and changing. "Welcome, Sarah Chen of Earth," the beings spoke in unison, their voices resonating on multiple levels of reality. "We are the architects, guardians of the multiverse, and you stand accused of unleashing a threat that could unravel all of creation." Sarah's heart raced, but she stood her ground. "With all due respect," she said, her voice steady, "we didn't unleash this threat. We're here to stop it." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, some supportive, others accusatory. The architects raised their hands, and silence fell. "The quantum plague originated in your universe," they intoned. "And now you propose a solution that could be equally catastrophic if it fails. Why should we trust the fate of all existence to a species as young and untested as humanity?" Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of every eye, tentacle, and sensory organ upon her. This was humanity's moment of truth. "Because we have something no other species does," she said, her voice growing stronger with each word. "We have the ability to imagine the impossible and make it real. We have the courage to face the unknown, not with fear, but with curiosity and determination. And most importantly, we have the capacity to unite, to forge bonds across the boundaries of species, of planets, of entire universes." She gestured to the assembled beings around her. "Look at this fleet we've gathered. Races that have been at war for millennia now stand side by side. We did that, not through force or coercion, but through hope. Through the shared belief that together we can overcome anything." The chamber was silent for a long moment. Then, one by one, beings began to step forward, pledging their support. The Hellfor's tentacles quivered with emotion as he spoke. "The humans speak truth. They have shown us a path forward we could not see before." Even the architects seemed moved. "Very well," they said, their voices softening. "We will allow your plan to proceed. But know this, if you fail, the consequences will echo across all realities for eternity." With another flash of light, Sarah found herself back on the horizon's bridge. But now the ship's systems were interfaced with the multiversal conclave, granting them access to power beyond imagination. "All ships, prepare to generate the quantum firewall," Sarah commanded, her voice carrying across dimensions. Focus your thoughts, your emotions, your very beings on the bonds that unite us. Let love be our shield against entropy. As one, the fleet began to glow with an otherworldly light. Beams of pure energy lanced out, weaving together into a shimmering barrier that spread across the tear in spacetime. The quantum plague recoiled, its crystalline tendrils shattering against the power of united consciousness. But the battle was far from over. As the firewall expanded, reality itself began to buckle under the strain. Stars went supernova, black holes collapsed, and entire galaxies blinked out of existence. "We're losing cohesion," Zora cried out, her form flickering as the ship's systems overloaded. "The firewall is consuming too much energy. We can't maintain it." Zora closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind to touch every being in the fleet, every consciousness across the multiverse. "Don't give up," she'd urged. "Remember why we fight. Remember the beauty of existence, the joy of discovery, the power of love. Hold on to that and push." In that moment, something miraculous happened. Across countless realities, beings of all kinds joined their thoughts with Sarah's. A wave of pure consciousness swept through the multiverse, reinforcing the firewall and pushing back against the plague. The crystalline growth began to recede, then to crumble. With a sound that echoed across all of creation, the quantum plague shattered, its entropic energy dispersing harmlessly into the void. As the dust settled, Sarah opened her eyes to find the bridge of the horizon transformed. The walls had become transparent, showing not just the space around them, but glimpses of other realities, other possibilities. "We did it," she breathed, scarcely believing it herself. "We actually did it." The architects appeared before her, their energy forms now stable and serene. "You have done more than save the multiverse, Sarah Chen," they said. "You have proven that humanity is ready to take its place among the cosmic guardians. The age of isolation is over. Welcome to the greater community of existence." As cheers erupted across the fleet and jubilant aliens embraced one another, Sarah felt a sense of awe wash over her. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious. But she knew this was just the beginning. With the power of the multiversal conclave at their fingertips and allies across countless realities, humanity's true journey was only just beginning. The stars, all the stars in all possible universes, were now within their reach. Sarah Chen smiled, her heart full of wonder and excitement for the adventures to come. "Helm," she said, her voice ringing with possibility, "set a course for everywhere." The cosmic renaissance, humanity's quantum leap. 5 years after the defeat of the quantum plague, Earth had become the nexus of a new multiversal civilization. The skyline of New Beijing, where Captain Sarah Chen now served as Earth's ambassador to the multiversal conclave, was a breathtaking fusion of human ingenuity and alien architecture. Quantum spires pulsed with interdimensional energy, while gravity-defying gardens spiraled into the stratosphere. Sarah stood on the balcony of the Harmony Tower, gazing out at the bustling metropolis. Hovercars zipped between buildings, their paths guided by AI traffic systems that operated on principles of quantum entanglement. In the distance, a massive holographic display showcased the latest breakthrough in dimensional physics, a collaboration between human scientists and ethereal beings from the 11th dimension. "Quite a view, isn't it?" a familiar voice said behind her. Sarah turned to see Zara, her blue skin now etched with intricate patterns that shifted and changed, reflecting the myriad realities she could perceive. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come," Zara admitted, smiling at her friend and advisor. Zara nodded, her eyes twinkling with otherworldly knowledge. "Humanity's growth has been unprecedented. Your species' adaptability and creativity have ushered in a new era of cosmic innovation." Their conversation was interrupted by a chime from Sarah's quantum comlink. "Ambassador Chen," the AI assistant's voice rang out, "your presence is requested in the Nexus chamber. It's time." Sarah took a deep breath, straightening her formal robes, a seamless blend of traditional Earth silks and bioluminescent fibers from the gas giants of Andromeda. "Well," she said to Zara, "shall we go make history again?" They made their way to the heart of the Harmony Tower, where the Nexus Chamber served as Earth's direct link to the multiversal conclave. As they entered, Zara was once again struck by the sheer impossibility of the space, a room that seemed to exist in multiple realities simultaneously, with windows looking out onto 1,000 different worlds. The chamber was already filled with delegates from across the multiverse. Some were familiar faces, or approximations thereof, from the battle against the quantum plague. Others were new arrivals, drawn by humanity's growing reputation as innovators and peacekeepers. At the center of the chamber, a swirling vortex of energy coalesced into the form of the architects. Their presence still filled Sarah with awe, even after years of working alongside them. "Greetings, beings of the multiverse," the architects intoned, their voices resonating on multiple levels of reality. "We have gathered you here to witness a momentous occasion. Today, we recognize not just an individual, but an entire species for their contributions to the greater cosmic community." A hush fell over the assembled delegates as the architects turned their attention to Sarah. Sarah Chen stepped forward as representative of humanity. Sarah moved to the center of the chamber, her heart pounding. This was more than just a ceremonial honor. It was the culmination of everything humanity had worked towards since that fateful day when the Horizon made first contact. "Humanity," the architects continued, "in the span of a mere 5 years, you have proven yourselves to be more than worthy of your place among the stars. Your innate ability to bridge divides, to find creative solutions to impossible problems, and to inspire hope in the face of cosmic despair has ushered in a new era of multiversal cooperation." The chamber erupted in a chorus of agreement, each species expressing approval in their own unique way. Sarah felt a swell of pride for her people, for how far they'd come. Therefore, the architects declared, "We hereby bestow upon humanity the mantle of cosmic catalysts. You are charged with the sacred duty of fostering innovation, mediating conflicts, and shepherding young civilizations as they take their first steps into the greater community of existence." A beam of pure energy shot from the architects, enveloping Sarah. She gasped as knowledge flooded her mind, the collected wisdom of countless civilizations, the secrets of reality itself. But more than that, she felt a profound connection to every human back on Earth, their hopes and dreams resonating through her very being. As the energy subsided, Sarah found herself transformed. Her body shimmered with an inner light, and she could perceive multiple realities simultaneously. She had become a living bridge between humanity and the cosmos. "The age of isolation is truly over," Sarah declared, her voice carrying the weight of her new role. "No longer will we be bound by the limits of a single planet, a single universe. Today, we embrace our destiny as citizens of the infinite." The chamber erupted in cheers and applause, but even as the celebration began, Sarah's enhanced senses picked up a disturbance, a ripple in the fabric of reality that shouldn't be there. She exchanged a knowing glance with Zara. Their work was far from over. The multiverse was vast and full of wonders, but it also held dangers beyond imagination. Humanity's journey was just beginning, and the greatest adventures and challenges still lay ahead. As the delegates mingled and celebrated, Sarah quietly slipped away, Zara at her side. They made their way to a hidden chamber deep within the Harmony Tower, where a quantum portal hummed with potential. "You feel it too, don't you?" Zara asked, her expression grave. "Something's coming. Something that could threaten everything we've built." Sarah nodded, her newfound cosmic awareness allowing her to perceive the looming crisis. "The quantum plague was just the beginning," she said, her voice filled with determination. "But whatever comes next, we'll face it together, not just as humans, but as part of something greater." She placed her hand on the portal's activation panel, causing it to flare to life with swirling energies. "The multiverse is calling, Zara, and humanity stands ready to answer." With a shared nod of determination, Sarah and Zara stepped through the portal, vanishing in a flash of light. They emerged on an alien world in a distant galaxy, the first step in a new quest to safeguard the cosmic balance. As they surveyed the bizarre landscape before them, Sarah couldn't help but smile. This was what humanity had always been meant for: to explore, to discover, to push the boundaries of what was possible. And now, with the power of the cosmic catalysts and allies across countless realities, there was no challenge they couldn't overcome. The stars above twinkled with infinite possibilities, each one a doorway to new adventures. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and the journey ahead promised to be more extraordinary than anyone could have ever imagined.